Now it's time to create a Pong game, but first let's add some imports. I'm gonna import Pygame, I'm gonna import sys, and I'm gonna import random. I'll go down here, I'll type pygame.init. I'm gonna initialize all the imported Pygame models. Now I'm gonna set up some constants for the screen size, colors, and the object dimensions. I'm gonna type width, height equals to 800 by 600. Then I'm gonna create a color white. It's gonna be equal to 255, 255, and 255. A black color, which is gonna be equal to 0, 0, 0. A ball radius, so ball underscore radius is gonna be equal to 10. Then a paddle width and paddle height, so paddle underscore width and paddle underscore height, and that is gonna be equal to 10 and 100. Then I'm gonna type a paddle speed, so paddle underscore speed is gonna be equal to 5. So this is gonna be the speed of the paddles. Then I'm gonna type ball speed x and ball speed y, and it's gonna be equal to 4 and 4. Next, I'm gonna set up the display window. So I'm gonna go down here, I'll type screen, lowercase letters, screen equals to pygame.display.set mode, parentheses, this is gonna be a tuple, width and height. So this is gonna create the screen. Then I'm gonna type pygame, so pygame dot display dot set caption, gonna be Pong game, so it's gonna set the window title. Then I'm gonna go down here, I will type, I'm gonna set up the game object using the pygame's rect class. So I'm gonna type ball equals to pygame dot rect parentheses, and here I'm gonna type width divided by 2, height divided by 2, ball radius and ball radius again. So this is gonna create the ball object. Then I'm gonna type here player paddle is gonna be equal to pygame dot rect parentheses, and I'll type width minus 20, comma, height divided by 2 minus paddle height divided by 2. Then I'm gonna put a comma, I'll go down here and I'll type paddle width and paddle height. Now I'm gonna create the opponent paddle, so I'm gonna type opponent, so opponent underscore paddle equals to pygame dot rect 10, height divided by 2 minus paddle height divided by 2, comma, and I'll type here paddle width and paddle height. Then I'm gonna set a variable down here, so I'm gonna go here, I'll type player, no, I'm gonna type here ball underscore speed x, ball underscore speed y is gonna be equal to ball speed x, ball speed y. So this is gonna set the ball speed in the x and y. Then I'm gonna go down here and I'll type player speed, player underscore speed. I'm gonna set the initial player paddle speed not moving to 0. Then I'm gonna type opponent speed, opponent speed equals to paddle speed. Then I'm gonna go down here and I'll type player underscore score is gonna be 0, opponent score also 0, zero should be here. Then I'm gonna type font equals to pygame dot font dot font none and 74. This is for the font for displaying the score. Now let's create a function to display the text in the middle of the screen. I'm gonna go down here, I'll type def display message. I'm gonna have a text parameter and I'll type down here message equals to font dot render text true and white. Then I'm gonna type rect equals to message dot get rect center equals to parenthesis width divided by 2 comma height divided by 2. So this is gonna center the text. Then I'm gonna type screen dot bleed message and rect. This is gonna draw the text on the screen. Now next we need to update the display, so I'm gonna type pygame dot display dot flip, and this is gonna update the display. Then I'm gonna type pygame dot time delay let's put 2000 milliseconds, so I'm gonna wait for 2 seconds. Now I'm gonna create a function to reset the ball to the center and restart after scoring. So I'm gonna go down here, I'll type def reset ball and I'll type global ball speed x, ball speed y. So I'm gonna use the global variables for ball speed. Then I'm gonna type ball dot center equals to parenthesis width divided by 2 and height divided by 2. So this is gonna reset the ball to the center. Then I'm gonna type ball speed x times equals -1. This is gonna change the ball direction. Now I'm gonna create a loop I'm gonna go down here. Let's push this down. And I'll type here while true. I'm gonna handle events like key pressed and quit. So I'm gonna type for event in pygame dot event dot get. I'm gonna type if event dot type equals pygame dot quit if the user clicks the close button. I'm gonna type pygame dot quit and cease to exit the program. Cease dot exit. Next, I'm gonna go at this level of indentation, and I will type you're gonna check to see if the key down event is. I'm gonna check for the key down event for paddle movement. So I'm gonna type if event. Let's push this a little bit down, make it clear. If event dot type equals pygame dot key down. So if that is the case, I'm gonna type another if here to check for the up arrow. So I'm gonna type if event dot key equals pygame dot k up. So if the up arrow key is pressed, I'm gonna type player speed equals to minus paddle speed. And here I'm gonna add another if event dot key equals pygame dot key dot k down. And I'm gonna type here player speed. So player speed is gonna be equal to paddle speed. So I'm gonna move the paddle down. So this is gonna move the paddle up, and this is gonna move the paddle down. Next, I'm gonna type if event dot type equals, let's move this to the next line, equals pygame dot key up dot key up colon. I'm gonna add another if here, if event dot key equals pygame dot k underscore up, or event dot key equals pygame dot k underscore down. Then I'm gonna stop the paddle. So I'm gonna type player speed equals to 0. Now, outside of this for loop, so not inside the for loop but outside here, I'm gonna move the player paddle based on the current speed. So I'm gonna type here player paddle dot I equals to plus equals player speed. Then I'm gonna type if player underscore paddle dot top is less than 0. We're gonna prevent the paddle from moving off the top. So I'm gonna put here player paddle top, player paddle top equals to 0. I'll add another if here. If player paddle dot bottom is greater than height, I'm gonna prevent the paddle from moving off bottom. So I'm gonna put here colon, and I'll type player paddle dot bottom equals to height. Then I'm gonna go down here, still at the same level of indentation. I'm gonna add a simple AI for the opponent paddle with randomness. So I'm gonna type here if random dot rand int between 0 and 20. So we're gonna add randomness to the opponent's movement. It's less than 15. I'm gonna type if opponent paddle dot I, no, if opponent paddle dot center is less than ball dot center. So we're gonna check if the ball is below the paddle, if it is below the paddle, I'm gonna type here opponent's paddle I, opponent's paddle dot I plus equals opponent speed. I'll add another if here. If opponent paddle dot center is greater than ball dot center. So if the ball is above the paddle, I'm gonna type opponent paddle dot y minus equals opponent speed. So move the paddle up. Next, I'll go here at this level of indentation. We need to be very careful with the indentation. I'm gonna ensure that opponent paddle stays within the screen boundaries. So I'm gonna type if opponent paddle dot top is less than 0. We're gonna prevent the paddle from moving off top. So I'm gonna type here opponent paddle dot top equals to 0. I'll add another if here. If opponent paddle dot bottom is greater than height, I'm gonna prevent the paddle from moving off bottom. So I'm gonna put here opponent paddle dot bottom is equal to height. Then I will go down here at this level of indentation, and I'll type ball dot x equals to ball plus equals ball speed x. Then ball dot y plus equals ball speed y. Now I'm gonna check for ball collisions with the top and bottom walls. So I'm gonna go down here and I'll type if ball.top is less than or equal to 0, or ball.bottom is greater than or equal to height. So if the ball touches the top or the bottom, I'm gonna type ball speed, ball underscore speed y, gonna be times equals -1. So I'm gonna reverse the vertical direction. Now I'm gonna check for ball collision with the paddles. So I'm gonna go down here at this level of indentation. I'll type if ball dot collide rect, so collide rect, I'm gonna pass player paddle, or ball dot collide rect opponent paddle. I'm gonna type ball underscore speed x times equals -1. So I'm gonna reverse the horizontal direction. Next, I'm gonna go down here and I'm gonna check for if the ball is out of bounds on the left and on the right. So I'm gonna type if ball dot left is less than or equal to 0. So if the ball goes past the left edge, opponent loses. I'm gonna put colon and I'll type here player score plus equals 1, display message, so display message, you scored, and I'm gonna reset the ball. I'll add another if here. Let's go down. If ball dot right is greater than or equal to width. So if the ball goes past the right edge, player loses. And I'll type here opponent score plus equals 1, display message, you lost, and I'm gonna reset the ball. Now I'm gonna draw everything on the screen, so I'll go down here at this level of indentation and I'll type screen dot fill black, and I'll type pygame dot draw dot rect screen white and player paddle. So draw the player paddle. I'm gonna draw the player paddle with this line of code. Then I'm gonna type pygame dot draw dot rect screen white opponent paddle. So that is gonna draw the opponent paddle. Then I'm gonna type draw pygame dot draw dot ellipse screen white and the ball. So this is gonna draw the ball. Then I'm gonna type pygame dot draw dot align screen white Then I'm gonna put a comma and I will put in parentheses width divided by 2 comma 0 I'll put another comma, another parenthesis here. I'll go down here and I'll type here width divided by 2 and height. Next I will type here player text, player underscore text equals to font dot render str parenthesis player score, gonna pass true and white. So I'm gonna render the score, then I'm gonna type screen dot bleed player score, player text comma parenthesis width divided by 2 plus 20 and 10. So I'm gonna display the player score. Then I'm gonna type opponent text equals to font dot render str parenthesis opponent score true and white. Then I'm gonna type screen dot bleed opponent text parenthesis width divided by 2 minus 60 and 10. So we're gonna display the opponent score. Now we're gonna update the display with everything drawn. So I'm gonna type pygame dot display dot flip. Then I'm gonna control the frame rate to 60 frame rates per second. So I'm gonna type pygame dot time dot clock dot tick 60, and this is everything. This is our code for the Pong game. Alright, now if I run the game, if I try to move, it's not working, the paddle. So let's go here, and here we have event.key down. Here instead of pygame.key down, it should be k down. Now if I run this, now I can move this, and now everything works fine. So that was a mistake that was preventing me. So if I now the game is working, as you can see, you scored. We have 1 for the score. Alright, everything works fine. I hope that you get a lot from this video, and I'll see you in the next videos.